Hello there, I'm at Mount Carmel Cemetery in Hillside, Illinois, and this is where a lot of the famous people are buried, so we're gonna explore it. Alright, I'm going in. This is the vault of the Giancana clan family, and this is the final resting place of Chicago outfit mobster Sam Giancana. And he was a very, very, very famous gangster. He got whacked in January of 1975. Somebody that he knew went to his house, and Sam was shot in the back of the head while he was preparing dinner for his so-called friend. So, but he lived a pretty long life, was involved in many different things, including he probably was involved in the, well, allegedly involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy, but there's really no, it's just conspiracy theories. And yeah, he was a really big part of the Chicago outfit, Sam Giancana. And you can tell someone left flowers over here. And I just passed his grave up, and it's a pretty, I think this is the most, besides Al Capone, this is the most sought after vault or grave in this cemetery, Hillside Cemetery. Here's the Carmel, the Tamaro family. You can see the pictures are they're very severely damaged, but they still stand. It's getting really dark. I hope the sun comes up. But anyway, I've located the headstone of a famous actor, Dennis Farina. He's originally from Chicago. He was a cop for a good 20 years. Then he became an actor. He appeared either as a cop or as a gangster in many movies, including Get Shorty, which is one of his famous roles. And also he was in a crime series called Crime Story. I think he played a cop there. And he's usually your typical Chicago cop. He had a Chicago accent. And he would have, he was known for playing gangsters, of course. And here he lies. He died of natural causes in his retirement home in Arizona. And since he was from Chicago, he's buried here in Hillside. So here is Dennis Farina. Rest in peace, Dennis, and thank you for all your films. Here's the family headstone of the Nito family, and especially Frank Nito, known as the Enforcer. He worked with Al Capone, by the way. He was his second-hand man, and he pretty much planned all of his Al Capone's plans to in the underworld. So, and after Al Capone's jail term, where he served time in jail, he took over the outfit. He was the boss for Al Capone, but unfortunately, it didn't go far because he was convicted of racketeering, and he was facing some jail time, which he did not like. He's very claustrophobic, so he offed himself near some railroad tracks in Riverside, Illinois. Committed suicide. So yeah, he was very big in Al Capone's gang. Frank Nito, the Enforcer. Here's the family headstone of the most famous Chicagoans ever to live. It's the family headstone to the Capone family. And here are all the Capones. Ermino John Capone. I don't know if he's involved with the gang, but this is Ralph Bottles Capone,
Al Capone's older brother.
and yeah, he lived a long life. He lived till in the 70s. And Gabriel Capone, that's the father of Al Capone.
They were all born in Italy.
And there's the mother, Teresa Capone. And here's Al, my Jesus Mercy, most famous gangster ever, probably in this country.
In the 1920s, Al Capone ruled Chicago with an iron fist. He controlled most of the bootlegging in Chicago, and he fought with other gangs, notably the North Side. And he was the mastermind of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which occurred in 1929. In 1931, Al went to Alcatraz for income tax evasion, and his underboss, Frank Nitti, took over the Chicago outfit.
And this is probably a sister. And there's a new grave here. Who's this? Oh, that's Maudlin. Oh, this guy's lucky. He gets to be buried by Al Capone. How lucky. It's Umberto Capone. He might have been involved with the Capone gang. This is Capone's, could be his son, Ralph Capone. I know he had a son. He died. He also died young. He died 2 years after his father. And another brother, probably another brother. And yeah, here they are. Here's Al. I'm gonna leave something on his grave. Hold on a second. I left some coins there. Here is the crypt of the infamous Jenna gang from the 1920s Prohibition Chicago. And there were 6 brothers all together, and they were very, very violent. And Al Capone even feared them. But they were mostly killed. 3 of them were killed by police and other gangsters. And one notably, Bloody Angelo Jenna and Mike the Devil Jenna were killed by gangsters or police. The other Jenna brothers fled back to Sicily, and they came back later only to become they went in the olive oil business, so they weren't gangsters anymore. And they died later in the 50s. So here they are, the famous Jenna brothers. They're all buried here, all of the brothers. And I don't know if you could see that, but there's some flowers here. Yeah, there's some flowers. You can't. It's hard to see with his phone. I should get a better phone. But anyway, here they are. All the brothers together. Rest in peace, Jenna Brothers. Even though you guys were violent. I finally found the grave marker of Vincent Ghibardi, also known as Machine Gun Jack McGurn. Now, he was Al Capone's favorite hitman, and he actually planned but did not participate in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Now, he escaped from being killed back in the 20s, but in 1936 he was killed in a bowling alley, shot to death by gangsters for revenge. Probably some of the associations with the Bugs Moran gang that dispatched him. So yeah, they took him out. He was in a bowling alley, and There's a famous picture of him in a pool of blood, and I think they put a penny in his hand or a dime in his hand and made a some kind of an insulting gesture. I don't know what it is, but here he lies, Machine Gun Jack McGurn. And here is Dean O'Banion, who was the leader of the Northside gang that competed with Al Capone. Now, he double-crossed Al Capone, and this pissed off Al Capone, and he sent 3 gunmen to execute him in his flower shop. So they were going to do a deal, and the gunman came in and tried to shake his hand, and he did, and then shot him twice in the face, twice in the throat, and twice in the stomach, and he died instantly. And after that, there was a war between Capone and the Northsiders, which culminated in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So here he is, Dino O'Banion. He was actually was a very religious, and he was probably the least violent of all of the gangsters in the 20s Chicago. But he died violently and at a young age. They all died. They're all buried here, all of them. Capone, O'Banion, the Jenna Brothers, what's the other guy's name? Machine Gun Jack McGurn, are all buried here. I'm wondering if in the afterlife they're still killing each other. They're still fighting each other. You gotta wonder. But yeah, Hillside Cemetery. All the gangsters from the 20s are buried here. It's actually a huge cemetery, and I've been navigating with a car because it's too far to walk. But here's Dean O'Banion. And last but not least is the crypt of Jaime Weiss, part of the Northside gang with Dean O'Banion and what's another guy's name? Well, anyway, he was greatly feared, and he was whacked on State Street by Capone's men carrying machine guns and shotguns. He died instantly. And the other guy was Bugs Moran. Yeah, Bugs Moran. Jaime Weiss and Dean O'Banion were the Northside gang. So yeah, somebody left flowers here. So people are still thinking of him after more than almost 100 years since his demise. But here he lies. His family's buried here. Jaime Weiss. When I was walking around, I found this grave marker. She's quite beautiful. Her name is Sadie Scalera. Born 1914, died 1948. So she died young, but man, look at that. Quite nice. Well, I guess this is it. I am going to end this video. Just want to show you the rest of the cemetery. This is fun. It's getting dark and cold, so I'm gonna get going. Alright, see ya.